course, here in Los Angeles to see which teams can keep their season alive. 30 minutes on the clock. The NA LCS Countdown starts right now. Plenty can still happen here on the last day of the regular season. Aframu heading down the hallway towards the stage, getting ready for their big game against Optic, who definitely needs a win here to keep their playoff hopes alive. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NA LCS Countdown, where for 30 minutes we preview the day's matches, dole out some honorable mentions, and play Jat's sick and twisted game until the timer reaches 0.
Called
and we
Jat's
jump into Champions. So is that what it's called? I'm petitioning for a rename of Jat's sick and twisted game. But before we do anything else, there was a moment in yesterday's countdown that caught some people's attention and has been spurring questions online. So let's take a look.
Most likely getting that playoff bye and most likely being, is that a foldy sheet?
No, that was your shirt. That was your Jat is right shirt. It's still sitting
so
under the
desk.
desk.
We don't ever clean the desk.
We're
We
gonna
just
pull that back up.
after we're done with
You want to pull this up?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
We can use this after all of my week.
Well, but
one
I also
predictions.
wrote on it. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember, because Jat was
writer.
right, but Mark was
Yeah.
writer.
It's gonna have to be flipped
we'll
around.
see about
maybe.
the predictions after
Yeah,
that.
I've been keeping. I don't know why. It's
We don't
still under
clean.
the desk.
We don't clean.
And
Everything just goes under the desk.
Picked it accidentally, so we're gonna put this back
Our
under the
can
desk,
stuff
where it will
turned
stay probably for
quickly.
another year. So we wanted to answer the questions and dispel a few theories about what's behind the desk. So Charlie, if you could come on in here, we'll get a camera around so you guys can take a look. It's a pretty normal desk,
there's
honestly.
nothing out of
We've
the
got
ordinary.
computers, you know, the analysts,
all.
they
A
use
lot of
them
the
to
props,
follow the
yeah.
games,
Just
look
like
up stats,
Jat's Hobbit
places
feet.
to take notes, you know, the foldy
Yeah.
sheet, of course,
All of our,
monitors
notes.
to see what's going on and whatnot.
Drinks
We
and
got
stuff.
the earpieces, some drinks because we're thirsty.
Yeah, there's some other
There's
stuff.
really not
There's
much
nothing
that
Nothing under the desk.
would be super out of the ordinary. But we did
Yeah.
want to give you that quick look behind the scenes, you know, just
Anything
because-
we might need. is
Exactly.
here.
I know
Yeah.
we gave you
Yeah.
that
Some
seed of
stuff we don't need as well.
curiosity.
Yeah.
It only felt right to follow through. So now that that's out of the way, let's kick off the day with a look at how the teams are stacked up. Team Liquid are at the top of the table with 12 wins. FlyQuest, C9, and 100 Thieves are sitting in a tie for second. Fox and TSM are sharing fifth, with Optic just one game behind. We'll track how that changes looking at our schedule today, presented by Jersey Mike Subs. First up, Optic Gaming faces off against 100 Thieves. Then in Game 4, FlyQuest challenges Cloud9 with TSM versus Team Liquid to close out the day. A reminder that if there are 1 or 2 tiebreakers, we will bring you those immediately following our last regularly scheduled game. And if there are 3 or more, then those games will be played tomorrow, Monday, starting at 3 p.m. PST. Now, if your meal today is missing a bit of free league content, order online at jerseymikes.com with the promo code JMNALCS, where a cool skin could come with an all-expenses-paid trip to Oakland for the summer finals. There are only 16 playoff scenarios still in play, with a lot on the line, starting with that final first-round bye.
Yep, and it could go to FlyQuest, C9, or 100 Thieves, depending on what happens today. Obviously, FlyQuest and C9 will be playing each other in Game 4, which is going to have a big influence on what people are fighting for.
Yeah, and looking at the second half of the split, it's hard to find a negative thing to really say about Cloud9 other than they didn't do this in the first half of the split. So they have been so dominant, beating Team Liquid twice and looking like they have all the momentum.
And FlyQuest, on the other hand, continues to be probably the biggest and best surprise team of the split so far. They kind of came up out of nowhere and doing really good. And the thing about them is we kept saying, like, oh, they want some more quality wins, but they're right up there fighting for the spot, which no one would have predicted. And if they can beat C9 heading into the playoffs, the hottest team in the league, that is the biggest momentum boost you could possibly hope for.
Big upswing to go into the postseason with it. We can't forget, though, that there's still a matter of 2 playoff spots up for grabs, and 3 teams remain in the hunt.
Yeah, Optic, TSM, and Echo Fox. Any of these 3 teams could still miss the playoffs, but all of that mystery ends if Optic doesn't beat 100 Thieves right off the bat, because Optic comes into the day at 8 wins, TSM and Echo Fox come in at 9 wins, so the possibility of a miracle comeback is there.
Right. Could all be decided in Game 1, though.
It could frequently be decided in Game 1 and also lower our total number of tiebreaker possibilities.
Yeah, it would basically say that we can have no more than 2 if 100 Thieves wins that first game. With Optic and 100 Thieves coming up first, let's dive straight into that matchup.
Yeah, and Optic looked pretty bad in their loss to TSM yesterday. Before the game, on like the mic check, we heard Acadian kind of saying like, "Let's go out there and have some fun, guys. We know it's a lot of pressure."
Yeah,
and that
this game will be fun.
It looked like the least fun game ever. They were 0 to 11 in kills, whatever it was, got 1 turret, lost all the Drakes, just kind of sat there and slowly bled out. And so it really looked like that was the team that felt the pressure and got scared into inactivity.
Yeah, and the pressure is higher in this game, knowing that if they lose, it is their last game of the year. And even if they win, they still don't have the agency to decide whether or not to go to playoffs, because if TSM and Echo Fox win, that moves them to 10. And for the first time ever, 9 wins wouldn't get you in to the NA LCS playoffs in an 18-game split. But based on how they looked yesterday, it's not looking that favorable for Optic, and they have to switch gears.
Yeah, pressure quite high for Optic. By the same token, 100 Thieves took a loss yesterday, so they're also looking to bounce back here. Losing to C9, though, the hottest team in the league, that ain't so bad.
Yeah, it's interesting because I don't feel like 100 Thieves necessarily looked bad. I just feel like C9 looked better because the game was actually very close, and Jensen did outplay Ryu in a number of scenarios, but 100 Thieves was in it the whole time. And I feel like with how good 100 Thieves is in the mid and late game, and the veteran presence on that team and how good they are in the clutch, specifically even last split, when their last week was amazing and they actually moved all the way up to the #1 seed. They've done it before. I think they're more able to deal with the pressure, so I think they're in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, I mean, you just look, Onda's the youngest guy on that roster, the only one I believe who hasn't been to a playoff series, and everyone else has been to a million of them, whereas on the flip side, Optic has 3 guys who have never been to a playoff series before, and so when you're looking at such a high-pressure game like Jad's talking about, probably going to the late game just based off how these two teams play, it does bode very well for 100 Thieves.
Right, and a bye just puts you in such a great position, both in terms of championship points and, of course, making your road to the final shorter.
Guaranteed to the Oracle Arena.
Yeah, and if 100 Thieves wins the first game, they will play a tiebreaker match for a bye. Just based on the winner of the FlyQuest C9 game will decide who they play in that match.
There are lots of possibilities. Don't you worry. We got the foldy sheets. We'll keep you guys apprised of all the scenarios as they break down throughout the day. Let's cut to the chase, though. How do these teams win today? Jat, you're going to take 100 Thieves for me.
Yeah, so initially when I wrote up this win condition, I was saying how they should counterpick top side with their red side since they don't have side selection. But then Optic went and actually picked red side, even though blue side has been dominant for many weeks, except for yesterday when red side won 4 games. So I understand why Optic would pick it. That just means that I still feel like 100 Thieves needs to secure a strong pick, so you power pick that top lane and don't rush in this game. We know that Optic is under a lot of pressure and that 100 Thieves can be cool, calm, and collected. So I think going to late is actually still favorable for 100 Thieves.
So 100 Thieves can kind of play the way TSM did in a sense with that comfortability knowing that, hey, late game will match up well in the 5v5. What are you thinking here, Mark?
I had a really original idea, actually, for what I want Optic's win condition to be, so we can just go ahead and actually roll that one out.
Oh, you pre-recorded it. I like it.
What Optic wants to do is they secure strong wave clear in the mid and the bottom lane. They pick a stronger split pushing champion. They have blue side, so they won't always have counter picks. Sometimes that has to be a power pick. And because of that, you then split the map to your top side. You shove top, you move your wards there, you start your jungle on that side, you try and jungle on the other side. That's what a lot of teams do when they're trying to secure a strong split push, and that's what Optic needs to do.
All right.
What do you guys think?
They're on red side, dude.
So that's the one change, but it's even better for getting the counter pick on the top side. But the rest of it
I mean, what an original idea. How long did it take you to come up with that?
Well, it's original in the sense that I don't think any of us have repurposed another person's win condition
ever thought of,
from the day before.
Plagiarizing someone else's work. That's just super original.
I cited my source.
Yeah.
You cited your source.
Yeah.
Why? Because it was
Don't need to reinvent the wheel, James.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Fair enough. There's the win condition for Optic, except for they are on red side. We're going to step away for a quick break. When we come back, we'll hand out some wholly made up, but no less important honors to the pros, as well as take another trip down memory lane. Meet us back here for more NA LCS Countdown. Welcome back to the NA LCS Countdown. Just over 16:30 to Game 1. Voting kicks off Tuesday for the end of the split awards, MVP, coach, rookie of the split, but we couldn't wait to start sharing the love. So we got a few leaderboards that we're going to check in with. Kills, most deaths, assists. These ones more statistically based, but just seeing who's top in the league in each of these categories. Starting with kills. Cody Sun.
80 carry world, man. Cody Sun back up there. He got funneled early on in the split. He passed his teammates someday.
somehow. Doublelift's up there. Wild Turtle also on there, but of course, Power Reveal being the only mid laner on there, surprisingly. When mid laners
But
often
an
get a ton.
8-kill lead going into the last day of the regular split suggests that he will probably remain in that position unless something crazy happens in that TL-TSM game. Afro Moo, 140 assists to lead, so 100 Thieves, man.
Hey, Santorin, the only non-support in the assist leader category, is actually pretty impressive to me. Just being how much of a factor he is in his team and getting involved and finding those kills.
Yeah, very much so. He typically playing those kind of tank champions and whatnot, so maybe not as much opportunity to pick up kills like, say,
that one Kha'Zix game, but then otherwise than that,
100 Thieves has the most kills of teams in the NA LCS, so it's no surprise.
Games.
So they have the most kills, but yeah, I was going to say, but where
games.
does their combined kills per minute rank?
It's like middle of the pack,
Okay,
actually. It's
so
not as
it
slow
just
as you
kinda
think.
But you play 20 extra minutes.
Yep, that's how it
clutch,
happens.
Also got the Death Leaderboard.
Death Leader, contract.
oopsies.
But then you got two people on Echo Fox taking up spots number 2 and 3. Huni and Dardoch, that top side of the map that we always talk about, crucial to Echo Fox's performance.
Yeah, I mean, Dardoch died
struggling.
And
20 times in the last 4 games.
And
or
oh my
20-something.
God.
Yeah.
And this is one of the teams that is still not locked in for playoffs. So again, we're going to put a spotlight particularly on those guys when it comes to their final game of the regular split here and their attempt to slide into that, 5th, 6th place spot.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they can curb that a little bit. We look at them as the best players in Echo Fox when they're 2nd and 3rd in the League of Death.
Yeah, it's literally the bottom 3 teams for players, and then randomly the 5th, 6th place team has 2 of them on there.
Yeah, but it does speak to their play style.
Absolutely.
Next up, though, we wanted to hit some superlatives. So, first up, we're talking about the best coach's handshake. And this goes to a late entry. Zabuchin in yesterday's 2v1 handshake versus TSM. We're a little bit of a bait, actually.
Oh, this one is
happens here.
Parth jumped on stage.
It was
Zabuchin's
Parth's
like,
first time on stage, and Parth had to point over his shoulder to Song, and then Song is just leaving him hanging.
Yep.
I do like how he waited.
It is. That was very kind, very
But
respectful.
just 5 seconds.
But it is one of those situations. It was just mistimed, and then you kind of left hanging. What do I do with my hands?
Well, you just see Parth sneak out past him so much earlier, too. That's just like, where's the other guy?
It almost looked rude, but it wasn't. Honorable mention goes to Prolly for the first 1v2 handshake of the split. This one.
And this was tough just because this was the first with the assistant/strategic coaches on stage. He doesn't know who he's supposed to shake hands with.
I think they
What
told
do I
him to
do? What do
only
I
shake
do?
with the head coach.
Yep.
Yeah, well, there was
like the assistant coaches shake with each other and the head coaches shake with each other.
Right, that would be.
But what if there's a mismatch?
That's the thing. I don't know. How do you handle the 2v1?
It was just
It's not easy.
no metagame established yet. You see what happens.
Exactly. This will be continuing to evolve meta. Next up, most on again, off again relationship within the league. I think most people are going to go immediately and look at Team Liquid.
Yeah, they're going to say, they're going to talk about Double Chinole again. No, it's Reapered and the C9 fans.
The C9 fan base.
You went on the Reddit.
hate and some real love going back and forth between these two guys, depending on the time of the month. Like,
worst decisions ever made by an org.
Were they
The
2 and 6 or are they
swaps.
actually 10 and 8?
Yeah, or even then when they swapped out Jensen and Blabber again, someone on the desk.
Yeah, I remember.
throwing quite a bit of shade at Reapered as well.
For that move, it's nice off again, on again.
Exactly. So C9 fans.
Are you on?
Right now, I'm on again.
Okay, on again. So everyone's on again when it comes to that relationship. Next up, most beard.
This is such a weird title for one, not best, just most.
Most beard.
Zazel, look at that.
So much beard.
That was an actual shot from broadcast.
Yep.
Just like, I think this next pick really needs to see the beard.
It's just, is it also the best beard? There's not that much facial
I think
hair
it
in
also
the league.
is the best beard in the NA LCS.
It's most and best.
Yeah, it probably
Because sometimes you can have too much, and then
I feel
it's
like
just
over
not.
in the EU LCS, they got a couple well-groomed beards.
Zuki has a...
Yeah, they got a couple good ones, but nothing tops that Zeus-like beard coming out of Zazel. Next up, best whoops, and we're awarding this one to Rainover if you cast your mind all the way back to Week 1 TSM versus CLG.
But it's not just on Rainover. This whole play, Week 1.
It's a bit of an oopsie.
Yeah, Rainover sees the Aatrox Q coming in, knows the right thing to do, just not quite using it in the right direction. And Bjergsen's like, clean up kill. Ooh, doesn't quite land the flash ult, and then there's the, we can go back in now that we can punish them.
What I like about this is that Rainover still gets the first blood. Like amongst all this. Just I'm Silchi.
Yeah, that set the stage for the kind of split that these two teams were gonna have. Week 1 really looking great.
The classic rivalry.
El Clasico!
Decided by Fiesta at level 3. Anyway, as we continue to take stock of the summer split, we asked you to share your biggest surprises with us on Twitter. So we're going to take a look at a few of those now. First up, Jin Yun wrote, C9's rebound has been pretty incredible. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, I think this is one of the biggest turnarounds we could have expected. I mean, there was a ton of roster swaps going on, but with just how demoralized the fan base was, kind of how it seemed the players were as well, that even if the starters did come back in, they would be so upset about coming in down so many games that this wasn't going to happen, but they turned it around.
Last place in the league after 4 weeks. Basically halfway through the split.
Not anymore.
To then almost running the table and maybe being second.
It's absolute insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be 7-1 on the back half of the split, possibly going to 8-1 after today. Next up, Often Lulz said the incredible NA talent shown this split, i.e. DeMonte, Blabber, Zazel, etc.
Yeah, Dokla's on that list too. All these guys have been stepping up. You see, he was getting his come up a little bit before. DeMonte had some games last split. People started getting hyped, but a lot of these other guys have been brewing in the Academy and Challenger series for quite a while, or the scouting grounds, and it's amazing to see them finally get not only showing up in the LCS, but performing super well.
Even had Wiggly popping off yesterday for CLG. I mean, I love to see these Academy players stepping up to the plate here on the LCS stage.
Yeah, I want to see more of it as well, because there is definitely a fear within, I think, some of the orgs that, oh, there's just not talent coming up, or there's nothing we can do, so the only way they look to improve their roster is to, like, trade for another player,
move
or
players
go to
around
Europe, or go to Korea,
yeah.
but there's some very successful teams with NA players that haven't had their LCS opportunity yet.
Foster that talent. For now, though, let's tune into this week's mic check that harkens back to simpler times of Week 8.
The
anytime.
ocean, no place for a squirrel.
What do the assistant coaches do if there's two on each side? Do they shake hands?
I practiced some Akali yesterday just in case the moment comes up.
Akali support?
Ready? No, I'm AD in that case.
What
What do I get to play?
You don't get to play.
You should have practiced. I figured we were all practicing.
Who decided that they can't shake hands? That they're just not people? I don't get it.
D-Blade?
I'm fighting for secondary coaches' rights here.
Man, I'm sorry for the referee. To listen to all of this, you know?
First in the lobby, I'm smurfing.
I hit first bomb. There's a high chance we win this game.
Nice. Speeding yes, speeding yes. Nice. Defend the base. Zillion back. Zillion back. Zillion back now.
No, watch,
You win that. You win that.
She has on you.
Kill that guy. Keep fighting. Keep going.
Nice. Come to the base. Come to the base.
Yeah.
Yeah! Oh, baby! I don't know. Will you be talking like that in game?
Yeah, I will be.
Okay.
Level of maturity is at all-time high right now. just like scrims.
Just like scrims.
Keep the flash in.
Oh,
Guys, mine. Kill Kindred.
He's dead.
Finish. 50. I got that. Get Zoe. I'm going to Zoe. I'm gonna make a dance into April. Where's the towel? He went down.
Carol, you're such a troll, man.
Yeah, this is one of our business friends.
Your paltry knowledge of SpongeBob, you can't relate. Disappointing me and actually tilting me.
Ezra.
I got Trundle as well.
Yeah, good tunnel.
Yeah,
Nice, good job, Ezra. That was a fiesta. But I kind of won. Never mind. KDA? No, I don't deserve KDA.
I don't think so. No, we don't need it unless you want to assist.
No.
We're taking a turret.
Yeah, just go
Fist bump me. Fist bump me, brother.
You go on Varus if you can.
One shot.
Brom slowed.
I'm staying on Kindred. Kick him out.
Go Baron.
Yes!
Nice shot,
That's
Baron.
what I'm talking about, bro.
Fist bumps.
Just over 7 minutes left before Game 1. It's time to see where you both stand in your predictions for the day.
Yeah, we are tied going into the final day.
We established that yesterday.
Yeah.
That you're very much tied.
And what's interesting is the Counterlogic Gaming versus Golden Guardians game, I feel like it was impossible to predict.
What?
I had to turn to a more knowledgeable predictor than I. Kubo.
Kubo, I have a problem. Both Golden Guardians and CLG have lost 8 of their last 9 games. But CLG won yesterday. So I can't, I don't know how to pick it. I get it wrong every time. Which one would you take? Take it.
That was hard. He was harsh. He was so close to picking CLG.
Yeah.
So close.
I thought I accidentally said taking it like a time that was going to influence his decision.
Right.
But he makes up his own mind.
That's impressive.
So you're not going to cop out if CLG wins and be like, oh, well, my dog picked wrong.
No,
right?
better
and
not.
I know
So how do you
the
guys?
best way to predict this game.
How do you feel knowing that, as it stands through the regularly scheduled games, CLG Golden Guardians is going to decide which one of you is the
most
better predictor?
irrelevant match
I think
of
it's
the
just
year.
fitting.
Fitting for the
I
summer
think it's
split.
very fitting for the way this split has gone. Where
But otherwise,
I'm also wondering how tiebreakers factor in because we're guaranteed a tiebreaker game, and
Yeah,
we
might
are
be
guaranteed at
different on
least
that.
counts.
one
It
up
counts.
to
It
4.
counts. So
Yeah,
this
but
might
those will
not be
count.
the decider.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get to those when we get to those.
All right.
Interestingly enough, you guys essentially chose the favorites in all matchups across
Well,
the
this
board.
was sticking with our foldy sheet lines.
Right. Oh, that's true, because you both had predicted
I'm still
your
on
your
scenario
final
252
scenarios.
from yesterday.
That's
so
right.
I'm
Yours
on a
is
roll.
still in. Mark's already out when it
Yeah.
comes to that. Maybe that is worth a point at
No.
the end of it all.
No. No.
That's
Let's get to the next
I like
segment. Read
those
the
rules.
prompter, James.
All right, well, we talked all about the pressure on these teams, so we did want to lighten up the mood a little bit with some fun, wholesome, completely answerable Jet stats. And unfortunately, the singers are still on strike, as they were just last week, so we don't have a jingle for today. Yeah, right? We can still...
well, okay.
I have no musical
Yeah.
talent.
Jet stats.
Yeah, we have lights and balloons, but we're actually already the telestrator. So the first question, mid lane is something we actually haven't talked about too much because it's been about 80 carries, it's about funnel, but which mid laner has the most solo kills this split?
Completely unassisted.
So a
completely
solo kill is an unassisted.
unassisted kills. So I actually, funnily enough, even though Jensen has not played the most
So,
games, I think he's in the running.
It popped into my mind, but so much of those are 2v2 plays and things like that, where like it's the Zillion and the Kindred and stuff
This
like
is
that.
this is through all times in the game. It's not isolated to like 15 minutes.
Yeah,
for
this
lane
is summer
phase.
split
Okay.
solo kills.
See, that's why I think there is
So,
a
like, some
possibility
days
that it's
10 solo kills in
Jensen.
top lane
There's
in the
also a possibility like who splits a lot from the mid lane.
That's what I was thinking. I'm not quite sure
So
anyone
then you're
does that
looking
much.
at somebody
right
like maybe
Well,
Ryu
well,
sometimes
yeah, but he
finds
doesn't get
himself in a
solo
split, but he's not getting any
kills.
solo kills.
now. I mean, he does play a lot of Zoe actually, so I'm gonna say Ryu. Actually, I'm gonna go with Ryu.
You're too confident on that.
After Zoe gets solo kills in the sense where people just die.
So wait, the rule is if
Him
he
with
does
that
it, I gotta go with it, right? Because otherwise,
doesn't
every
matter.
time I
I
don't
mean,
agree
do
with
whatever
him,
you
I
want.
get it wrong.
There's also
when you agree with him, it's wrong. When you disagree with him, it's
No matter what you're wrong is
I'm
the
gonna
problem.
I'm gonna go with Jensen because I think it's like kind of way out there and actually possible.
Ryu is second, actually.
Oh!
But everyone talks about how he's a passive farm for late mid laner. It's Bjergsen.
What?
With the
there you
7
go.
solo kills. Let's
That's
go.
insane.
Yeah.
All
More
right,
mid
buddy.
lane questions.
All right. Mid lane.
Who has the lowest mid jungle proximity? As in, whose jungler is there? the
TSM.
least? Is that your final answer?
Well, I feel like if you got a lot of solo kills,
You were really
right,
confident.
Then, I know I'm not that confident, but it was just
sounded.
it was keying off the first question. If he has a lot of solo kills, means no one's there to help him, so maybe his
and
jungler's
it's
not around
team
much.
jungle proximity as well, right? So it's like for mid lane. So like it doesn't matter if there's been different mid laners in there for different teams.
Ah,
right?
oh,
So it's
okay,
like
okay.
In all
okay.
17 games.
Well, it's definitely not C9 because they do go mid a decent amount. Who just leaves? Would it be CLG? Is like who?
I was
who
thinking
he's
maybe
kind of
like
always on an island.
Rainover does
been
gank
there a
the
few
lanes more,
times.
but who he roams a lot too. I don't think it's Golden Guardians. I don't think it's Optic. It could be Clutch. I feel like I never see Lyra and Febby doing the same thing.
I like that answer actually.
You guys are way off.
You're gonna give us that right now?
Give me that hint.
All right, so
none of
not
the things we
Febby.
said.
Well, no, I was saying it's none of those. I was saying none of those sound
Great.
right.
Okay,
Except
that's
Febby,
fine.
right?
That's fine. That's
but
correct.
not Febby.
All right, I give you 15 seconds to answer this.
All right, so it's not Febby. CLG is still. Well, you're saying that one was off too.
Who are we missing? Echo
All right,
Fox, Demonte.
TSM,
Did they ever go mid?
Ryu,
go mid
Demonte. You
occasionally.
might be right. You want to do Demonte? I'll do Ryu.
I'll go.
again.
I'll go
I'll go
Fox.
Ryu again.
C9, if you can believe it.
What?
Yeah, it's totally doesn't make sense with what you're thinking. Because
I don't believe that.
They just have the most efficient
Double
ganks
check
mid.
it.
Because jungle proximity is just about time spent jungler close to mid laner.
I know
C9's
it's.
not
I
that
just
close.
saw producer Joe Meyer said it's confirmed. I know it's confirmed, but I'm
right.
just still baffled by.
All right.
I mean, it's all split launch.
I
so
wouldn't put it past Jap to start making
Well,
stats.
the first half of the split with the golden glue and stuff like that, like they're playing
I got
around
one.
licorice a lot more.
I got one.
right.
This is a little bit. I saw what Kobe did. He did like a non-league related question. I've been carrying something along in my jacket pocket the whole day. What is that thing?
So this is not statistical at all. I just like
What
to point
would be
that
in
out.
my jacket pocket? That's like-
Okay, so I mean, the obvious
he's a
things-
nerd, so some kind of like
pocket protector.
no,
it'd be. Let's see. It'd have to be a phone, keys,
phone keys, calculator, notes.
All right, 5 seconds.
some
You
kind,
got
or like
5
quick
seconds
notes,
to
quick
put it in
win
the sensor.
conditions, quick notes.
Yeah,
I don't know. I
for
feel
it.
like
Just what?
I feel like
Monocle.
I feel like Jat's
You have a monocle.
a phone in jacket pocket kind of guy. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Phone in jacket pocket.
It's a ring. I have a ring in my pocket. My precious ring.